18 years I raised her. A 3-year-old child nobody wanted. I fed her, clothed her, sent her to school, nursed her through illnesses, slept beside her when she had nightmares. 18 years of love. 18 years I dedicated my life to her, and on her 18th birthday she showed up at my door with a lawyer, said I kidnapped her, said I stole her childhood, said she wants $50 million in damages. And when I found out what was behind this lawsuit, when I found out who put these ideas in her head, my world fell apart. Listen, baby. Come sit with me because this story is going to break your heart. It's going to make you question everything you think you know about love, about gratitude, about the children we raise and sacrifice everything for. Because this is a story about the deepest kind of betrayal. Not from a stranger, not from an enemy, but from the child I loved more than life itself. And I need you to stay with me till the very end, honey, because this doesn't go where you think it's going. My name is Eve. I'm 52 years old, and 3 months ago my adopted daughter served me with a lawsuit claiming I stole her childhood and demanding $50 million in compensation. The child I raised from age 3, the child I loved unconditionally for 18 years, turned 18 and decided I was her enemy. Let me tell you about Sophia. I adopted her when she was 3 years old. She'd been in the foster system since she was 6 months old, bounced between 7 different homes in those first 3 years. Nobody wanted her permanently. She was difficult, they said. Too traumatized. Too much work. She had attachment issues from being abandoned by her birth mother. She'd cry for hours, wouldn't eat, wouldn't sleep, would have these violent tantrums where she'd hurt herself. Social workers told me honestly, she's a tough case. Most people who meet her give her back within a few months. But when I met her at the adoption agency, baby, something in my heart just broke open. She was so small, so scared, so desperate to be loved. She looked at me with these huge brown eyes and whispered, "Are you my mommy?" And I said yes, even though I was single, even though I didn't have much money, even though everyone told me I was crazy to take on a child with her level of trauma. I said yes, because she needed me. And honestly, I needed her too. The first year was hell, honey. I won't lie to you about that. Sophia would wake up screaming every night, sometimes multiple times. She'd refuse to eat anything except chicken nuggets and applesauce. She'd have meltdowns in public that lasted hours. She didn't trust me. Didn't trust anyone. She'd ask me every single day, "When are you giving me back?" And every single day I'd tell her, "Never. You're mine now. Forever." It took a year before she believed me. A full year of showing up, being patient, proving I wasn't going anywhere. And then one night she crawled into my bed after a nightmare and whispered, "I love you, Mommy." "Baby," I cried. Cried like I'd never cried before, because I'd finally gotten through to her. She finally felt safe. The years that followed were beautiful. Sophia blossomed. She went from a terrified, traumatized toddler to a confident, happy child. She did well in school, made friends, joined soccer, took piano lessons. We weren't rich. I worked 2 jobs to support us, but we had each other. We had movie nights every Friday, pancake breakfasts on Sundays, annual trips to the beach. She'd tell me about her day, her dreams, her fears, and I'd listen, support her, love her unconditionally. I thought we had something special, baby. I thought I'd given her the childhood she deserved, the childhood that had been stolen from her in those first 3 years. But there were warning signs I didn't see. Or maybe I saw them and didn't want to believe what they meant. Around age 15, Sophia changed. She became obsessed with social media, with influencers, with the lifestyle they portrayed. She'd spend hours watching videos of rich teenagers, their designer clothes, their luxury vacations, their perfect lives. "Why can't we have a house like that?" she'd ask. "Because we can't afford it, sweetheart. But we have everything we need." "No, we don't. We live in a tiny apartment. I share a bedroom with your office. My friends have their own rooms, their own cars. When you're older and working, you can have those things. But right now, this is what we can manage." She'd roll her eyes, slam her door. I told myself it was normal teenage stuff. Every kid compares their life to others. But it got worse. She started asking about her adoption. "How much did you pay for me?" "I didn't pay for you. Adoption doesn't work that way. There were fees for the legal process, but..." "How much?" "About $30,000 total." "But Sophia, that's not..." "You bought me for $30,000. No, baby, I adopted you, I chose you. That money went to lawyers and agencies, not to buying you." But she twisted it in her mind, started telling her friends I'd bought her like she was property. Then she found her birth mother on social media. I'd always been honest with Sophia about her adoption. Told her I'd help her search for her birth family when she was ready. But she did it secretly, without telling me. Her birth mother's name was Crystal. She was 36, living in Nevada, still struggling with addiction. And when Crystal found out Sophia came from money, or what she thought was money, everything changed. Sophia started talking to Crystal every day. I only found out because I saw the calls on our phone bill. "Sophia, honey, I see you've been talking to someone in Nevada. Is that your birth mother?" She looked defiant. "So what if it is?" "I just wish you'd told me. I would have supported you through this." "Why? So you could control it? So you could tell me what to think about her?" "No, sweetheart. So I could be there for you. This is a big emotional thing to go through. I don't need you. I have my real mother now." The words cut like knives. Crystal started poisoning Sophia against me. I didn't know it then, but I'd find out later. She told Sophia I'd stolen her, that she'd never wanted to give her up, that I'd manipulated the system to take her baby away. None of it was true. Crystal had voluntarily terminated her parental rights after failing multiple drug tests and missing every court-mandated visitation. But Sophia didn't know that, or didn't want to believe it. Sophia's behavior got worse. She'd stay out past curfew, skip school, talk back constantly. "You're not even my real mom. You can't tell me what to do. I am your real mom. I'm the one who's been here for you every single day for 15 years. You're just the woman who bought me when nobody else wanted me." Every fight ended with her crying in her room and me crying in mine. I tried therapy, family counseling, but Sophia refused to engage. "This is bullshit. There's nothing wrong with me. You're the problem." Then came her 18th birthday. I'd planned a surprise party, invited all her friends, made her favorite meal, bought her a car, used but reliable. It had taken me 2 years to save up for it. She came home that afternoon with Crystal, her birth mother, in my home, unannounced. "Mom, this is Crystal. Crystal, this is Eve, the woman who raised me." The way she said it, cold, detached, like I was just some caretaker, not her mother. Crystal looked me up and down with this smug expression. "So you're the one who took my daughter? I adopted her legally after you terminated your rights? I was sick, I made a mistake. But she's always been my daughter." Sophia looked at Crystal with adoration, like she was a hero instead of the woman who'd abandoned her. Sophia, can we talk privately? I asked. Anything you want to say, you can say in front of Crystal. Fine. I planned a birthday party for you. Your friends will be here in an hour. Cancel it. What? I said cancel it. I'm going out with Crystal. We're celebrating my birthday together. My real family. The words destroyed me. But I held it together. Of course. If that's what you want, we can celebrate another day. I don't want to celebrate with you at all. She left with Crystal. And I sat alone in my apartment with a birthday cake and decorations, texting her friends that the party was canceled. 2 days later, a process server showed up at my door. Eve Thompson? Yes. You've been served. He handed me a stack of legal documents. A lawsuit. Filed by Sophia Thompson, represented by attorney Michael Chen. The claim: wrongful adoption, emotional distress, theft of childhood, and pain and suffering. Damages sought: $50 million. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. My daughter, the child I'd raised, loved, sacrificed everything for, was suing me, claiming I'd stolen her childhood, claiming I'd caused her emotional distress, claiming I owed her $50 million. I didn't have $50 million. I didn't have $50,000. I'd spent everything I had raising her. I called a lawyer immediately. Her name was Patricia. She specialized in family law. This is one of the most absurd lawsuits I've ever seen, she said after reviewing it. There's no legal basis for any of these claims. Adoption is legal. You can't sue your adoptive parent for adopting you. Then why is this happening? Someone's putting her up to this. Probably someone who thinks you have money. Do you? I have about $12,000 in savings, a small retirement account, that's it. Then this is either a shakedown attempt or someone seriously misled her about your finances. The lawsuit alleged that I had kidnapped Sophia through fraudulent adoption, subjected her to substandard living conditions, denied her access to her biological family, caused severe psychological trauma, stolen her childhood for my own selfish purposes. Every allegation was either false or a twisted version of reality. Yes, we lived in a small apartment, because that's what I could afford. Yes, I denied her access to Crystal, because Crystal was a drug addict who'd lost custody for child endangerment. Yes, I'd adopted her, but legally, through proper channels, with her best interests in mind. The preliminary hearing was scheduled for 6 weeks later. I tried to contact Sophia before then. Called her phone. She blocked me. Went to where she was staying. Crystal's friend's house. They wouldn't let me in. Sent letters. She returned them unopened. My daughter had completely cut me out of her life. Patricia did some digging. Found out Crystal had a boyfriend. Guy named Derek. Small-time con artist with a history of exploiting vulnerable people. I think Derek is behind this, Patricia said. He probably convinced Sophia you're rich, that you've been hiding money from her, that she's entitled to millions. But I'm not rich. How could they think that? You own property? I own my apartment. Bought it 5 years ago. It's worth maybe $200,000. To someone who's never had anything, that sounds like a fortune. And if you add up 18 years of raising a child, the numbers can sound big. Housing, food, education, medical care, it adds up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I didn't profit from raising her. I spent that money on her. I know. But they're framing it like you used her for financial gain somehow. Maybe claiming you got tax breaks or subsidies for adopting her. I got a small tax credit the first year. That's it. They don't know that. Or they're lying. I hired a private investigator. He confirmed Patricia's suspicions. Derek had a pattern of finding vulnerable people, convincing them they were owed money, and filing frivolous lawsuits hoping for settlements. He'd done it to 3 other families in the past 5 years. One case involved convincing an elderly man to sue his own children for elder abuse. Another involved a woman suing her former employer for millions based on fabricated discrimination claims. All of them had been dismissed, but not before causing massive emotional and financial damage to the defendants. Derek was manipulating my daughter, using her trauma, her anger, her feeling of not belonging, convincing her that I was the villain, that I'd stolen her from her real family, that I owed her millions for using her. And Sophia, at 18, vulnerable and desperate for her birth mother's love, believed every word. The hearing arrived. I walked into that courtroom and saw Sophia sitting at the plaintiff's table. She wouldn't look at me, wouldn't acknowledge me at all. My baby girl, who I'd loved for 18 years, treated me like a stranger. Her lawyer, clearly coached by Derek, made outrageous claims. That I'd bought Sophia like property, that I'd kept her in deplorable conditions, that I'd brainwashed her against her biological family, that I'd exploited her for financial gain. None of it was true. But Sophia nodded along to every word. When it was my turn to speak, I looked directly at Sophia. Baby girl, I love you. I've loved you since the moment I met you. Every decision I made was to give you the best life I could. I'm not rich, I never was. But I gave you everything I had, and I'm so sorry if you feel like that wasn't enough. Sophia's jaw tightened, but she still wouldn't look at me. The judge reviewed the evidence. The adoption papers, the financial records, the photos and documents showing 18 years of care. Miss Thompson, the judge said to Sophia, do you have any evidence that your adoption was illegal or fraudulent? Her lawyer stammered. Your Honor, we believe. I asked the plaintiff. Miss Thompson, do you have evidence? Sophia looked at Crystal. At Derek? They nodded encouragingly. She bought me, Sophia said. She paid money to take me from my mother. That's not how adoption works, the judge said. Adoption fees are paid to agencies and lawyers, not to birth parents. That's illegal. Your birth mother voluntarily terminated her parental rights. Do you dispute that? Silence. Miss Thompson, I'm asking you a direct question. Do you have evidence that your adoption was anything other than legal? My mom, my birth mom, said she was forced to give me up. Forced by whom? By the system. The system that gave her multiple opportunities to maintain custody. The system that provided her with rehab, parenting classes, and supervised visitation? That system? Sophia looked confused, like she was realizing for the first time that maybe what she'd been told wasn't the whole truth. The judge ordered a recess, told Sophia's lawyer to provide actual evidence of wrongdoing by the next hearing, or face sanctions for filing a frivolous lawsuit. Outside the courtroom, I tried to approach Sophia. Baby, please, can we just talk? Derek stepped between us. Don't talk to my client. Your client? She's my daughter. Not anymore. She's an adult now. And she wants nothing to do with you. Sophia stood behind him, arms crossed, face hard. But I saw something in her eyes. Doubt. Confusion. Maybe even regret. Sophia, please, I said, my voice breaking. I love you. Whatever you've been told, whatever you believe, that's the truth. I love you. If you loved me, you wouldn't have kept me from my real family, she said, but her voice wavered. I kept you from people who hurt you, baby. People who couldn't take care of you. I have the records, the court documents, everything that shows what happened. If you want to see them, I'll show you. I've never hidden anything from you. She's lying, Derek said quickly. Don't listen to her. But Sophia looked uncertain now. Patricia pulled me aside. The judge is going to dismiss this, probably next hearing. But I think we should go on the offensive. What do you mean? Sue Derek for fraud and coercion. Sue Crystal for parental alienation. Make them pay for what they've done. I don't want money. I just want my daughter back. Sometimes the only way to expose liars is to put them under legal pressure. Make them testify. Make them produce evidence they don't have. I thought about it. Do it, I said. Not for me. For Sophia. She needs to see the truth. We filed countersuits against Derek for fraud, conspiracy, and abuse of process, against Crystal for parental alienation and intentional infliction of emotional distress, and we subpoenaed records. Crystal's Child Protective Services files, Derek's criminal history, phone records showing the planning of this lawsuit. The evidence was damning. Crystal's CPS files showed 7 failed drug tests, 3 missed court appearances, multiple reports of leaving infant Sophia alone for hours, an incident where she'd brought strange men to her home while Sophia was present, another incident where Sophia had been found wandering outside at night because Crystal had passed out. Finally, a voluntary termination of parental rights with a notarized statement, "I cannot care for this child. She deserves better than me." Those were Crystal's own words, written 15 years ago. Before she decided Sophia could make her rich, Derek's record showed 3 previous fraud convictions, 2 restraining orders from former clients he'd scammed, a disbarred lawyer's license, multiple lawsuits dismissed for being frivolous. He was a predator who found vulnerable people and exploited them. And Sophia was his latest victim. The phone records showed Derek and Crystal planning this lawsuit for months, coaching Sophia on what to say, researching my finances, trying to figure out how much they could extract from me. One text from Derek to Crystal, "Even if she doesn't have 50 million, she'll settle for whatever she has to make this go away. I've done this before. People always pay to avoid the embarrassment." Another from Crystal, "Keep telling Sophia how her fake mom stole her. Keep her angry. Angry people don't ask questions. They were using my daughter as a weapon." At the next hearing, Patricia presented all of this evidence. The judge reviewed it silently, his face growing darker with each page. "Mr. Chen," he said to Sophia's lawyer, "did you conduct any due diligence before filing this lawsuit?" "Your Honor, my client came to me with allegations fed to her by a con artist and a woman who abandoned her 15 years ago." "Did you verify any of their claims?" "We relied on our client's statements. Your client is an 18-year-old who's been manipulated. You're the lawyer. You're supposed to investigate before filing." He turned to Derek. Mr. Price approached the bench. Derek walked up, confident as ever. "Mr. Price, you're not licensed to practice law, yet you've been acting as Miss Thompson's legal advisor. That's illegal. You've also orchestrated this lawsuit as part of a fraud scheme. I'm referring this matter to the District Attorney's Office for criminal charges." Derek's face went white. "Your Honor, I was just trying to help. You were trying to extort money from a woman who spent 18 years raising a child you and Ms. Fletcher have now turned against her. Bailiff, take him into custody." Crystal jumped up. "You can't do this. We have rights." "Ms. Fletcher, you voluntarily terminated your parental rights 15 years ago. You have no legal standing here. And based on these phone records, you're complicit in this fraud. I'm adding you to the criminal referral." The bailiff approached. Crystal tried to run, but was caught at the courtroom door. Sophia watched all of this with growing horror. "Wait," she said. "Wait. What's happening?" The judge looked at her with something like pity. "Miss Thompson, you've been lied to, manipulated. used by people who saw you as a means to get money. Your adoptive mother did nothing wrong. In fact, she saved you from a dangerous situation, and you repaid her by filing a baseless lawsuit that's caused her immense pain. But Crystal said, Crystal lied. About everything. The evidence is right here. He gestured to the documents. Sophia looked at me, really looked at me for the first time in months. Is it true? She whispered. Did she really abandon me? Yes, baby, I said gently. She did. And I don't tell you that to hurt you, but you deserve the truth. The lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice. Derek was arrested and charged with fraud and conspiracy. Crystal was arrested for fraud and child endangerment. They'd found evidence she'd been using drugs again. And Sophia fell apart. She called me the night after the hearing. Mom? Her voice was small, broken, like the 3-year-old I'd first met. I'm here, baby. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She was sobbing, great heaving sobs that tore at my heart. I know, sweetheart. I believed them. I believed everything they said. And I hurt you. I said terrible things. I filed that lawsuit. How can you ever forgive me? You're my daughter. I'll always forgive you. But I don't deserve it. Love isn't about deserving, baby. It's about choosing. And I choose you. Always. She came home the next day. We sat on the couch, our couch in our small apartment, and we talked. Really talked. For the first time in years. Why did you believe them? I asked gently. What did they say that made you think I was the bad guy? She was quiet for a long time. They said you adopted me because you couldn't have your own kids. That I was like a replacement, a consolation prize. They said you probably resented me for not being your real child. Oh, honey. And when I looked around at our apartment, at our life, I started thinking, maybe they're right. Maybe if you really loved me, we'd have more. We'd be like the families I see on Instagram. Sophia, I gave you everything I had. Was it perfect? No. Was it enough? I thought so. But I understand if you wanted more. It was enough, she said, tears streaming down her face. It was more than enough. I was angry. About being adopted. About not having a normal family. About not knowing where I came from. And Derek and Crystal took that anger and twisted it into something ugly. Can I ask you something? She said. Anything? Do you regret adopting me? After everything I put you through? I pulled her close. Held her like I used to when she was small. Never. Not for 1 second. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Even though I sued you for $50 million? I laughed through my tears. Even though you sued me for $50 million, healing wasn't instant. Sophia moved back in, but things were awkward at first. She felt guilty. I felt hurt. We went to therapy, together and separately. Slowly, we rebuilt what had been broken. She apologized to my friends, to her school, to everyone who'd heard about the lawsuit. She got a job, started saving money, enrolled in community college, started becoming the person I'd always known she could be. Derek pleaded guilty to fraud and got 3 years in prison. Crystal went to rehab as part of a plea deal. She's out now, but Sophia wants nothing to do with her. She's not my mother, Sophia said. She gave birth to me. But you're my mom. You're the one who showed up. Every single day, even when I made it impossible. Last month was Sophia's 19th birthday. I made her favorite meal. Invited a few of her real friends, the ones who'd stuck by her even through the lawsuit. And at the end of the night, she handed me an envelope. What's this? I asked. Open it. Inside was a card. And a check. for $30,000. Sophia, where did you get this money? I've been working, saving every penny. I know it's not 50 million, but… She smiled sadly. You said you spent 30,000 adopting me. I want to pay you back. Baby, I don't want your money. Please, Mom, let me do this. Let me show you that I understand now, that I know what you sacrificed, that I'm grateful. I looked at the check. At my daughter. At this young woman who'd gone through hell and come out the other side. And I tore up the check. No, I said. You don't owe me money. You don't owe me anything. But you're my daughter. That money was a gift, just like you were a gift to me. I don't want repayment. I want you to use that money for your education, your future, your dreams. She cried. I cried. We held each other and cried. People ask me sometimes, how did you forgive her? After everything she did? And baby, the answer is simple. She's my child. Not because of biology, not because of paperwork, but because I chose her 18 years ago, and I keep choosing her, every single day, even when she makes mistakes, even when she hurts me, even when she believes lies about me, because that's what love is. It's showing up. It's forgiving. It's saying I'm still here even when they push you away. Sophia graduates from community college next year. She wants to be a social worker, work with foster kids. I want to help kids like me, she said. Kids who need someone to choose them. I'm so proud of her I could burst. The lawsuit changed us both. It broke something, but it also built something stronger in its place. A relationship based not on obligation or biology or legal documents, but on choice. We choose each other now, every day, and that's more powerful than any lawsuit, any amount of money, any blood relation could ever be. So if you're listening to this and you've been betrayed by someone you love, hear me. Forgiveness is possible, even when the hurt runs deep. Even when they've tried to destroy you, it's possible, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. And sometimes, the only way to find peace is to let go of the anger and choose love instead. Sophia and I are okay now. Better than okay. We're real. We're honest. We're a family that's been tested and survived. And every morning when I wake up and see her in the kitchen making coffee, I'm grateful. Grateful I chose her 18 years ago. Grateful she's choosing me now. Grateful we found our way back to each other. Final reflections. Family isn't about blood. It's about showing up every single day, even when it's hard. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing love over resentment. Vulnerable people make easy targets for manipulators. Protect the ones you love by teaching them to question, to verify, to think critically. Gratitude can't be forced or demanded, but it can be learned through experience and growth. Sometimes the people you love will hurt you more than enemies ever could. Love them anyway. Money brings out the worst in desperate people. Never underestimate what someone will do if they think you're hiding wealth. The truth always comes out. Lies might work for a while, but reality has a way of exposing deception. Adoption is love made legal. It's choosing a child and committing to them forever, no matter what. Rebuilding trust takes time, but it's worth it when the foundation is real love.